Hey y'all, it's Jen004 with my newest installment and latest Follow Friday video. As you may or may not know, I recently staged a coup and became the first president of the Twitterverse. Um, in order to do a good job at this position, I obviously need an awesome cabinet. And since I have made it a law that you have to follow everyone that I tell you to, I suggest you take notes and pay close attention under penalty of law. My vice president, first and foremost, is Metaglyph. He is in charge of taking care of all of the aides and interns. And for his protection, I have also outlawed any blue dresses that may be submitted as evidence later. So please make a note of that. Not allowed to wear blue dresses anymore. My Secretary of Defense is Jamie Walker 725. He's a staunch believer in turning Afghanistan into a really pretty glass parking lot. And he also believes in waterboarding every person that ends all of their tweets in please retweet because it's just annoying and it needs to stop. My Secretary of State is Irish Lad 585. Now, I don't know exactly what he would do as Secretary of State. No one does. But I figure if Hillary Clinton can do it in real life, then he can definitely handle it. Because it's got to be a cake job, right? You know what I'm saying? Take the village. My Secretary of the Treasury is Karen Eden. Now, I do have to warn you, she's a Texas Longhorns fan. But I figure who better to keep all of our money safe than someone who lives in a state that has all the guns? I mean, that just makes sense. The new head of the Small Business Administration is Ed Entrepreneur, but that is mainly just because it's in his name. I mean, it's like Alexander Graham Bell. You knew eventually he was going to invent something that rang because his last name is Bell. So Ed Entrepreneur is the obvious choice for the Small Business Administration. Speaking of obvious choices, Texas Education is my new Secretary of Education. Her first order of business is to write down all the names of all of the people who tweet the word "allet" instead of "a lot." Two separate words there, people. "Allet" is not a word. You can't "allet" something. Just saying. John Black has taken on the daunting task of being my hashtag czar. Now, I really like the fact that we have like 85,000 czars now in Washington, and we don't know when any of them do, so I decided to create a few of my own. So he's my hashtag czar, and his experience should speak for itself because he's created such wonders as I'm Just Saying and I'm Not Here. He's a genius. Seriously. Let's see. Next, Havoc 333. We recently got Twitter married. I'm very upset for all of you who didn't send me wedding shower gifts. I'm just saying. But so he's obviously my first husband of the Twitterverse. Although he's not really my first husband. In fact, I'm still married to my first husband. But if all of this confuses you, just follow him and stop asking questions because nobody wants your opinion. Obviously. Original OG. He's my new Secretary of the Press. Mainly because people do whatever he says. And when I have to do a photo shoot, he can remind me I wear too much makeup and people think that I look old. Oh, excuse me, I was wiping away the dripping sarcasm. Swellen is in my cabinet as well. I haven't figured out the right job for her yet. And obviously my chihuahuas have an opinion about that. But every president needs a token liberal, and she's mine. And I love her in spite of the fact that she is a liberal. We all can't be perfect. Deep Blue Sea Love, one awesomely long username. She's my awesome new music czar. Wouldn't it be awesome if we really did have a music czar? She will be in charge of playing background music every time I start to speak. Because, let's face it, everything's cooler with a soundtrack. It is. Seriously. Since the most urgent and growing problem in the Twitterverse is motivational quotes, calm down, Jen. I have appointed Jesse Watson 1 to be my quote czar. He is in charge of detaining those individuals who only tweet inspirational quotes day in and day out and keep the Twitterverse safe by replacing those quotes with motivational quotes. So he's already started to do a wonderful job with that. I'm very proud of the progress he's made so far. Um, let's see. And lastly, but definitely not least, Rock Diesel, Pops 28, and JROG 83 are my new heads of the Secret Service. So if any of you don't like me, want to shoot me in the head or the arm or any other extremity, you'll have to go through them first, and I would not suggest that. To all of my 1,843 followers that I have as of the making of this video, you all rock, and I love you immensely. Thank you very much for sticking around with me, even though I sometimes get on really long tangents and don't tweet anything that makes any sense. And this is just a side note. I am president of the Twitterverse, but if you have a problem with any other country besides the Twitterverse, please forward your questions to Amber Austin, as she is the ruler of the rest of the universe. So I just have the Twitterverse, she has everywhere else. And apparently she's taken my dog, Diva, as hostage. Just saying. Well, that concludes this episode of my Friday follow video. Go out, follow everybody that I told you to, and remember, it's law. Ooh,